All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, I'm going to go over some of the products that I use. A couple videos ago, I went over some of the tools that I use and make life a little bit easier. And I'm going to go over some of the products that I have on my shelves behind me. Some of the car wash shampoos, some of the polishes and compounds and sealants, along with some of the cleaners that we use here in the shop. So stay tuned. So through the years, it's kind of been like trial and error, trying different products that come out, new stuff, old stuff. Some of the stuff on my shelf here behind me, I've had for quite a few years, and I actually, over the weekend, wound up going through everything and getting rid of stuff that I just don't touch and don't use or haven't used in quite some time. But I will go over some of the stuff, new and old, that I use on almost a daily basis, just to give you a better idea if you're just starting out or if you're looking for new stuff to use. So we'll start here with some car shampoos. The first one here, this Detox Wash and Seal, is from Detail King, and we use that with our ceramic coating maintenance. We do install Purist, Jade Quartz, Jade Graphene, Jade Ice, all of the Jade lineup of ceramic coatings, and this is the recommended wash for the coated vehicles. The next one that we use pretty much on all of our maintenance vehicles that come in and all of our details is 3D Pink Soap. It's pH balanced. It works good in the foamer as well. The third one that I have here is the Optimum No Rinse Wash and Shine, which we do use occasionally on vehicles as well. It's also good to use for a clay lubricant. As far as compounds and polishes go, I have a little variety here, some Mcguire's and 3D products. My go-to is right here, 3D 1. So it's basically a one-step. It's a compound, and then it diminishes down to a polish. So majority of the vehicles that come in, we wind up using that if it's not scratched up too bad. If someone is just, they're not interested in a complete paint correction and they just want to do, just a polish, make it look nice, throw some sealant on there, we wind up using the 3D Speed, which is not really much of a correction. You're not really removing anything. You're kind of just hiding some scratches and making it shine. So it's a glaze. The other two products from 3D are the 501 and the 502. So these two go hand in hand together. If you're breaking out the rotary and using a wool pad, that's really nice to use. Along with 3D 1, for compounds, I'll also use either Mcguire's 100 or 105. Early on, I used 105 a lot, and then I discovered 100 was a lot less dusty. So 105, it works really well, but it does make a mess. And both of these are basically your extra heavy cut. You can see they're both rated at the 12 on the top of the bottle. And I usually follow that up with Mcguire's 205. I mix and match these as well. Like sometimes I might use 105 and wind up finishing out with some 3D 1 or some 502. It all really just depends on the paint. So it's always good to do a test spot on every vehicle, and then after you kind of get an idea of, after years of experience, these vehicles come in and you're like, oh, I remember on this Chevy Tahoe 105, 205 worked really well as a good combination on there. So, it all comes with experience, but it's still good to do a test spot every once in a while to try to figure out what you need to use. Moving over on the shelf, we get to the sealants that I apply. So the first one here is Mcguire's 21. It's a synthetic sealant. And I've been using this for about 2 years, and I just felt like I needed to find something a little bit better. So I was reading through different forums, through different posts on Facebook pages, and Just Car Power Lock Plus was one that a lot of people were talking about. So I said, I'm going to give it a try. And I actually fell in love with this the first time I used it. Super easy to put on and even easier to take off. You give it about a half hour to set up, and it really does give a deep, wet look finish, just like it says on the bottle. Very happy with this. I actually just picked up some of this Ultra Lock Plus, which I'm going to give a shot and try to decide on which one I'm going to plan on using for all my customers' vehicles. I did purchase the M27 from Mcguire's last year. It's a hybrid ceramic sealant, and I use it on my wife's car. I use it on my truck, and it holds up pretty well, but I'm really not gung-ho about it so much. So Power Lock Plus and Ultra Lock Plus are the two that I'm going to be using on my customers' vehicles from now on. Next up, we will talk about some of the quick detailers and spray sealants that I use. You can see them here on the shelf. We'll start all the way over here with Mcguire's. You can see it in the back there. We basically just use that for door jams. This one here, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of, Bead Maker. It's more of a spray sealant. We use it as kind of a finishing sealant to put on a vehicle, or even a drying aid if we're just doing a maintenance wash on a vehicle. The next one here I just picked up a few weeks ago. This is also from P&S. This is the Dream Maker Show Car Gloss Amplifier. So you're not putting any protection on the vehicle when you use this. It's basically for, you take your vehicle to a car show and you want to give it a quick shine. This is something that you could use. I have used it on my own vehicles, and it goes on really nice, super easy, and no streaking. The Graphene Nano Spray Coating, I bought this last year. I did a quick video on it. I think it was my first or second video I did for the channel, kind of reviewing it. So around last year at this time I put it on. It held up kind of well. Maybe a few weeks I got out of it, but that's on my own truck that I don't wash like every week. I just neglect it like crazy because I don't get paid to clean my own truck. So kind of hard to figure out if this one was really worth it or not, but I have not used it since. Another one here is from Detail King. So this is a wet surface polymer sealant. So again, this doubles as a drying aid. When the vehicle is still wet, you could spray this on and wipe it off with a towel, and you're putting on a layer of sealant. So it works very nice. I have like a couple gallons of that, I think, that we use. The next one in the line is Geon Wet Coat. Very simple to use. Like I said, you use this sprayer, and after you're done washing the car and the vehicle is still wet, you would mist this onto a panel and then use your pressure washer or your hose to rinse it off. And what it does is it leaves an instant hydrophobic layer on your vehicle. So this is a good one to use for toppers on ceramic coatings, or just as a maintenance wash. And I use it on my truck basically every time I wash it. It's every few weeks I apply a new coat. And I have it in this sprayer, which is really nice. Found this on Amazon, and it just puts out a mist. So instead of using it in a regular spray nozzle, you're using less product, but it still works just as well. So check those out. I'll put a link in the description down below where you could find those on Amazon. I believe they make them in 12 and 24 ounce spray bottles. And the last one here is 3D waterless car wash. So the only place I've used this so far is on my own truck. I use it on my 85 C10 that kind of just sits in here and gets a little dusty. So it worked really well. So there we go. There are the spray sealants and quick detailers. Some of the cleaners that we use here. So the one on the left is Brake Buster from P&S. So it's diluted in the IK sprayer, which you see right there. And we foam the wheels and the tires with this. And it's safe on all wheels. It's non-acid, so there's no worry about making or causing any damage. The next one is for interiors, which is also from P&S. It's their Carpet Bomber. And we will put that in just a regular spray bottle, dilute it with water, and it works really well. Another wheel cleaner. This one's from Detail King. Again, this one's safe on all wheels, so you don't have to worry about it damaging anything. This is a non-acid, but it does work really well to get rid of brake dust. So brake dust that's caked up in the wheels, especially in the barrels of the wheels. So this is a really good one to use. Crud Cutter for vehicle and boats. I'll put this in a foam cannon and spray it on, especially like boats or RVs. Some areas, if they're sitting for a while and have algae stains and mildew stains, this one's really good at getting that loosened up. Mcguire's wheel and paint iron decon. This has been like the 4th or 5th one that I've tried from different companies, and I'm pretty sure this is the one that I like the best. All right, next up we have Mcguire's APC. This is good for cleaning all interior and exterior hard surfaces, such as wheel wells, door jambs, steering wheels, any gunked up areas, especially in like the drink holders and the center consoles is always good. Little APC and a brush usually does the trick. Moving over to P&S Bug Off. So this is really good at breaking down any bugs on front bumpers, grills, paint, trim. It's safe to use on all those areas. I don't dilute this at all. I just put it straight into a spray bottle. I have two different enzyme cleaners here. One is from P&S on the left, Terminator, and the one on the right, Biozyme, is from Detail King. They both work really well. They both have really nice scents to them, and I use them on a number of vehicles that had some pretty crazy spills, milk, protein shakes, urine from pets, and also from a child recently. So we've used these both to deodorize while we were shampooing the carpets and any parts of the interior. Next up, we have some interior products that we use. So here is 303 Protectant, which I'm sure, again, a lot of you have heard of or are probably using. I really like this one. I've been using it for quite a while. And one of the reasons why I like it is because it doesn't give a ton of shine on the plastics in the vehicle. And that, a lot of customers don't really like that slimy, greasy look. So we get a lot of compliments from people when they do pick up their car and say, you know, I'm glad that you didn't use something like Armor All on the interior of my vehicle because they just don't like the shine. So this one is definitely a nice one to use. And moving on to the leather. So after the leather is cleaned, this is from P&S also. So this is their leather treatment, conditioner, and protectant. So very good stuff. I'm pretty happy with this one as well. It gives off a good scent too. A lot of customers are really surprised when they sit in their car and they're like, wow, what scent is that? And I'm like, well, it's basically all the products that we use between the 303, the leather treatment, if we're using any of the Biozymes or the all-purpose cleaner, all of those scents together really gives a nice clean smell inside the vehicle. For windows, I basically just use Sprayway. Sprayway glass cleaner, you can find that at Sam's Club. I think I bought these in like a 6-pack. I did used to use Invisible Glass from Stoner, and I was also using Mcguire's concentrate, but those two seem to leave a lot of streaks on the windows. With Sprayway, I always say like less is more. So just a little bit on a clean microfiber towel, clean on one side, flip it and dry, and you're ready to go. So this one is definitely a good one to use and lasts quite a while because you don't need to use a lot when you are cleaning the windows. I have two products here for restoration of any plastic trim on a vehicle. One here on the right is Solution Finish. So that's a trim restorer. As you can see on the label, it's for rubber, vinyl, and plastic. There's two different ones that I have here. One for black, and the one all the way to the right is for gray. The second trim restore is from Detail King, and that's their trim coat, black and gray. And with either one of these, they both work really well. I would just recommend definitely wearing some rubber gloves because if it does get on your hands, it's going to stain. And even with ceramic coating, if the plastic trim is faded, I'll do the solution finish first, allow it to set up and dry, and then you can ceramic coat right over top of that. Anyone that has customers come in with water spots on either their windows or their paint, this is a really good product to use. This is from SB3 Coatings, and this is their water spot and calcium remover. It's like a gel that you would put onto an applicator pad, or you can use a microfiber towel. You buff it onto the window or onto the paint, flip the towel over, and wipe it away. Definitely quick, like it says, it's fast acting. One of my go-tos when I'm trying to remove water spots. We do have quite a number of vehicles that come in that have some water spotting on, especially the windows. Okay, so moving on to some exterior dressing. So this one is from P&S. This is their Shine Performance dressing. I just picked this up not too long ago. So we're using this primarily for a dedicated tire dressing. My other two that I've used in the past that I think perform a little bit better than this are Magic Blue from 3D and Super Blue from Detail King. So I might be going back to those. I'm not really sure how I feel about this one yet. This is water-based, and it doesn't really give as much like a high gloss. It says a high gloss tire dressing, but I feel like it's pretty dull. In the middle here is Bare Bones from Chemical Guys. So it's an undercarriage protectant. We're using it to spray wheel wells, any suspension components, to dress those up as a finishing touch on some vehicles. And then the third one over here is from 3D. It's their non-silicone dressing, which it says it could be used as a tire dressing, but this is, for me, I'm using it as a dedicated exterior trim dressing. And we'll also use it on tonneau covers on trucks as a finishing touch. So those are the 3 exterior dressings that we use. Now, if you have a product that you didn't see here or that you use and you have great success with it, be sure to drop it down in the comments below. I would definitely like to check it out and give it a shot and maybe add it to my arsenal that you see on the shelf behind me. Hopefully this video gave you some ideas of certain supplies that you could add to your collection. Whether you're doing it, on the side, or if you're a full-time detailer, maybe you thought about using one of these products and you want to try it out. Definitely, that's what I do all the time. I buy things, try them out, especially on my own vehicles, and then if I like it, I use it on customers' cars as well. So if you like what you see, be sure to subscribe down below. That way you're notified every time we come out with a new video. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.